San Francisco 49ers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And at 6:30 p.m., the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Marc Abrams here with the 7-year NFL quarterback, Glenn Foley, former star Boston College. Glenn, what's happening?
Not much. San Francisco, I just saw the Paul Pelosi tape. Tremendous lights, camera, action. Paul Pelosi, the rubber hammer and everything. Complete fix. No, I'm getting pumped for these games. This is going to be a drubbing. They messed with the Rocky statue in Philadelphia, the San Francisco banner or a shirt. They messed with Rocky. 44-10 drubbing. We'll go over the score.
We'll go over that in a second. But before we get to the games itself, you've reached this round. I know you were the backup quarterback when your New York Jets traveled to Denver to face the Denver Broncos way back when. What's this like the morning of the game with the team? Take us through what these teams are going through. Do you prepare like it's any other Sunday? Is the speech a little bit different? To tell the fans out there who haven't experienced something like this, what it's like on Championship Sunday.
Yeah, you're programmed like a horse or a dog, if you will. Nothing changes. You're in game week mode. They set it up the best they can. The game's going to be different. There's going to be more delays, but for the most part, it's business as usual. And this is what you train. This is what you train for. Nothing really changes. You go out, you execute the game plan that you prepared all week for, whoever comes out to play and whoever comes out guns a-blazing is going to win this football game. I just think it's the Eagles. Very difficult spot here for Brock Purdy. I know he's had a great year, rookie kid coming out, playing well, good system, all that stuff, but I just don't see it. I don't see any chance this kid has in Philadelphia. You could say he's played some tough games, yes. But in Philadelphia, in this atmosphere, we were talking about one of our buddies, the great Larry Schreiber, the great tailgater in Philadelphia history. He was eighth in line this morning at what time? 4 a.m. or something. So these Philadelphia fans they wait for this. This is what they're bred for. It's going to be raucous down there. I just don't see a rookie being able to handle the Philadelphia atmosphere. I really don't. It's different. It's really different. And come game time, that's the early game because they know better. 3 o'clock, that place is just going to be absolutely raucous, crazy.
Well, let me ask you this. You talk about the fandom, like I said, only thing I can ask you and compare it to because obviously you were involved in one of these games. You guys went into Denver, which is, again, one of the better home field advantages. I think that was before the new stadium, if I'm not mistaken. Was it still Mile High Stadium? Or was it
I believe it was still Mile High back then. It was they had the big ridiculous Bronco horse in the one end zone. I remember that, but I'm not sure if they redid the stadium or not.
How much can a crowd, especially like you said, a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback guy who's only made six and I'll call it 6.5 games. How much can this ruckus atmosphere, something that he hasn't experienced as a pro, how much does that play into this on an NFC Championship Sunday?
I think a rolling. What happens? You come out, games normal, warm ups normal, and then you feel the roar of the home crowd, and then you feel the electricity, and then if it snowballs, this is what I fear for San Francisco. If it starts to snowball, the crowd becomes involved. You get a turnover, a couple early scores, and now you have a blowout. And the fans at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Philadelphia are just going to be out of their mind. So if San Francisco is going to have a chance, their defense has to do something big early, get a turnover or something. But I don't see anything stopping it. I described it as Brock Purdy flying a paper airplane into a Cat 5 hurricane. It's just very difficult situation for anybody, let alone a rookie quarterback. And the only thing that can save the 49ers is their defense. And the Eagles have too many weapons, and I just think it's going to steamroll.
So let's say we have the line up there right now, 2.5, 45.5. What there jumps out at you?
Jumps out as the under. I don't know. I see under. I just don't see the 49ers as vaunted as they can be on offense. I think the crowd, the atmosphere, the Philadelphia, the home, the everything Philadelphia is going to erupt into chaos for San Francisco. Something bad's going to happen early. I see a blowout here. They mess with Rocky, and I do. I see a blowout. A rookie quarterback,
like a 27-10 kind of thing. Is that what you're?
Yeah, like a 44-10. Like this is like
the under. You said you like the under, so
I could see it. I could see the kids getting carted off the field by the second quarter.
Wow.
Offensive line of the 49ers aren't as many weapons as they have. I just think it's too much for a rookie quarterback. I could be wrong, and I don't wish the kid any ill, but I just see him running for his life and making some bad decisions early. And once that crowd gets into it, we've both been there when the Philly crowd gets going, and this is a different kind of Philadelphia post-COVID crowds, and people were talking about wearing San Francisco stuff at the Xfinity Center the other night and how there were people, they were still staying, and don't be down there. And I say this with all good intentions. Don't go down there wearing 49er gear. There's too many idiots. It's too much. It's post-COVID. People have been drinking since yesterday, and you're going to get bad things thrown at you. It's just going to get ugly. And if Eagles fans act stupid, and they've been partying since 4:00 this morning. So don't go down there with. If you're a 49ers fan, relax and just cover up. Don't go down. It's so. I almost got my ass kicked wearing Kansas City Chiefs gear, and the Chiefs weren't even playing. I had a Chiefs jacket on for some reason, and the Chiefs weren't even playing the Eagles, and I almost got my ass kicked.
What are you looking for early? Well, actually, no. Let me. As much as he gets maligned in the city, Jonathan Gannon, the defense coordinator for the Eagles, he takes a lot of heat here because he doesn't blitz. It's a shame. I wonder what would happen if his team didn't have 75 sacks this year, the third most all time. You think he's salivating? Do you think he changes up anything? He's got a kid who's only had 6 professional starts under his belt. You think we see a little bit more heat from some linebackers or some safeties coming from the Eagles today, or do you think because that defensive line, they have 4 guys with double-digit sacks, you think he just plays the same way he's been playing for the last 18 weeks?
They're going to change something up. It probably won't be blitz. Maybe you may get some blitz zones to try to confuse the young quarterback, but you first try and do what you've been doing all year. You don't change. You don't change the recipe now. If you can get heat on this guy with your 4 best pass rushers, that's what you do. But the 49ers are stout up front. They got a good offensive line. So when you're bringing 4, if you're not blitzing and you're bringing 4 guys and they're not getting home, then you're going to start to see blitzing. You should start to see it early. I would assume you're going to see some blitzing early, just in case 4 doesn't get home. I would assume, because their tackles are so good in San Francisco, you're gonna assume that you're not going to get home with 4. So you might see blitzing early and then back off and then see how that works. That would be my strategy. Don't give the young quarterback an easy crosser because you're blitzing and he's got an easy outlet. Make him read through his reads and make him hang in the pocket. Even if they're protecting well, if you're contained, you're making a young quarterback have to read through his progressions. Make that happen. The secondary stay sound. Don't blow coverages. Stay sound on your defense. You don't have to take chances if you're pressuring the kid. You don't have to sack him. Just make sure the kid's a really good athlete. What you don't want to do is let him get running loose. You know, he reminds me of Stetson Bennett, even though he was running from house to house last night.
We'll get into that in a second. We'll get into that in a second.
No, this kid reminds me a lot about Bennett, the way he plays. If he gets loose running, he can be a problem, and especially in the red zone when he gets loose running. So his legs could determine this game. If you let Purdy run the ball, you let him get his 40, 50. We talked about Jalen Hurts. If Hurts runs between 50 and 100 yards, the Eagles almost can't be beat. Same thing here with the 49ers. If you let Purdy run and he gets 50 to 100 yards worth of running yards, it's a whole different game now. So keep him contained. I would early on not blitz him, and then if you have to blitz him as needed.
This is also a game. I don't know if you want to call it a prove it game for each quarterback. Each quarterback is, beside playing for the obvious, playing for a right to go to the Super Bowl, they're playing for something. And what I mean by that, Purdy is playing this, to really make a difficult decision for the 49ers brass to, go into training camp, as a chance to be their number one quarterback going forward for the next, 7 to 10 years. Jalen Hurts is playing for, I am that franchise quarterback. Give me my, 5-year, $250 million deal. Do you feel that this game, those underlying things are on the line for each quarterback?
I think there's no doubt. I would like to see Hurts get beat up a little bit early in this game. I want to see what he's worth. He's almost had it too easy, this year. We
don't want him to get hit on that shoulder though.
He's had very little adversity. He has a dinged shoulder. It's a separated shoulder, which is nothing. It's just it's a pain tolerance. I played with that. Tried dislocating it. No. If they can get pressure on him, he's a whole different quarterback. This is what if the 49ers can get pressure on Hurts, then I would be blitzing the daylights out of Jalen Hurts from the very beginning of the game and not stopping. Make him complete passes under pressure, but just make sure you're if you can, because you can't blitz and double people at the same time. So you're going to blitz. You're going to be doing some blitz zoning and just making sure that Brown doesn't kill you. But you got the Eagles have so many weapons that can hurt you. It's very difficult to blitz them. But if Hurts has a mechanical flaw, and it takes him a while to get rid of the football. So if I'm the Niners, I'm bringing the heat, I'm bringing it often, but I'm also blitz zoning him, where I'm making him think that he has to get rid of it, and he really doesn't, and making him think his way through his progressions, and making him think his way through blitz zones and blitz zone reads, which are critical in these type of games.
So despite him having the MVP caliber year that he's had this year, you feel that he needs to at least play well, or win this game, play well, get his team to the Super Bowl in order to be able to command that. Because obviously he's playing for a contract. This is his third year. Obviously, before the fourth year is when they do the old picking up the fifth-year option. Do you think? Do you think that's inevitable that they do that, or do you think that a lot is riding on this game, or do you think if he plays well, has a monster game, they rip up that rookie deal, and maybe we see in the offseason that 5-year, whatever $250 million deal or whatever the price of a quarterback is going to be?
It's a tough one because he has intangibles. You look at Justin Fields. Justin Fields can run. Hurts can run. They both have issues with throw. Not Hurts is a way better thrower than Fields will ever be, but Hurts isn't a perfect thrower of the football either. However, he has intangibles, whereas Fields says dumb things, and he mentions his receivers as being fifth and sixth string guys at Ohio State, which just tells me he doesn't have great intelligence. Whereas Hurts is cool, calm, collected. He's always saying the right things, doing the right things. He's his single-minded focus, his ability to lead. He's got things. He's doing things that young quarterbacks really you don't see them do. Herbert's doing the same thing. So yeah, I think he's a guy you're going to keep, and his legs are so important. The thing that worries me with Hurts is if he gets an MCL, can he beat you? Can he beat you from the pocket, going 45 of 50, 55, like a Herbert could? If Herbert gets a knee, he could still kill you with his arm. Where if you get Hurts with a bad leg, he becomes one dimensional. He can't complete 75% of his passes from the pocket. He doesn't have the mechanics right now. Can he get there? Yeah, he can get there, but he's not there yet.
On the other hand, is Brock Purdy done enough to go into next summer's training camp as the number one quarterback for the 49ers? The limited opportunity that Trey Lance has had, who they traded up, number 3 overall, to make them the franchise quarterback, really has not done much. In very limited activity. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think they're going to just let go, even though he's going to be a quarterback somewhere next year. He's going to be somebody's starter. Do you think Brock Purdy has, win, lose, or draw today, has earned the right to be in the mix at least, or be called the number one quarterback going into summer camp next year?
Yeah, he's won. He's won going in. It's and then you let you let Lance figure in as he heals up and figures it all out. He's obviously, you don't take a guy who loses. I mean, the guy hasn't lost any games. So of course he goes in as number one. I've never been, the media gets so wound up with who's one and who's two. These hybrid guys, Justin Fields, if I'm the Bears, I might take a quarterback with that first pick, or if I'm the Bears, maybe I trade back and get 2 or 3 first round picks.
I think that you're going to do.
Still take a quarterback, because you can't live with Justin Fields. You can live with his legs, but you can't live with his arm. So, and I'm not opposed to a 2 quarterback system, which everybody seems to be so opposed to. The minute you get into the red zone, put Justin Fields in there. That's why the Eagles are so deadly in the red zone. Jalen Hurts, his ability to run the football, puts a defense on its heels, like you wouldn't believe. So when a quarterback gets in the red zone and now you have to worry about him running the ball in from 20 yards out, that's a problem, which most quarterbacks cannot do. So I would be using some of these guys in a dual quarterback situation.
What so all that being said, I know you kind of alluded to a score. What is the final score today? Give me one pick and one pick only.
Well, 44-10. Eagles get
throttled.
The 49ers, and Purdy, and to his credit, he's just not. It's going to be like getting hit with a tsunami. He's not going to see it coming. He's not going to understand it. He doesn't understand Philadelphia. He's going to get hit with something from the stands. He's going to get hit with beer, hot dogs, mustard. He could get hit with all of the above, and then he's going to have to play through it. So this is why it's a day game, because you put this game at night, there you have night court. So
I'm gonna go.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go 27-13 Eagles. I think they're gonna run the football, straight down the throat like they did last week. They're gonna and then that's going to open up all those RPOs for Hurts. He's going to hit a couple big plays. Brown. I think they're definitely going to get AJ Brown in early because of his little temper tantrum at the end of the game last week.
He didn't get his touch.
He only got his 4 catches last week.
Oh, I didn't get mine.
I mean, he's all right, but he just like, I'm a competitor. I want the ball, yada, yada, yada.
My biggest fear is that if I'm totally wrong here, Jalen Hurts has his true colors come out, and the Eagles lose a 27-10 game. That's
stop it.
Out of
Can't have that.
Yeah.
So
if they get heat on Hurts, he's brutal. It's just watch. That's why I think the Bosa matchup with Lane is huge. If they still got to chip chip him because Lane's groin will go, and you'll see him laying on the field in the first quarter because both.
I mean, 90% of what you say today, it's been like about guys getting hit from the stands, guys being carted off, Lane Johnson, guys' knees snapping and groin snapping.
Well, when you get to this point of the season, the guys they go it's full speed, pass through the whistle, and the ferocity of the impact is just, it's incredible. The first kickoff, you pray to God that the kickoff goes out of the end zone or somebody could die on the first play of the game. That's how bad it is. These guys are just amped, and this is it.
Well, faster than the Concorde. I don't know if, Glenn, you can see our background. We're at Lincoln Financial Field. We just fast forward right to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. The Kansas City Chiefs, and this line has moved like 22 times this week. Kansas City Chiefs are now laying 2 over under 48. Kansas City started as a 1 or 2 point favorite. Then after they said Mahomes' ankle, then Cincinnati moved to a 2.5 point favorite. Kansas City was 2.5 last night. As I wake up this morning, Kansas City is now 2. So a lot of action going both ways here in this game. What do you see? Mahomes says he's ready. All the pictures we've seen, he's walking fine. To tell us what you think about Kansas City and Cincinnati getting it on for the second straight year, Glenn.
Kelsey got carted off on Friday, somebody said.
Well, yeah, they said he's got a little bit of a bad back going on.
Twinged back. Gamesmanship, maybe. I just think too many people love the Bengals here. I love the over. This is going to be one of your classic battles. I think you can get like a 35-32 type of game where they go toe to toe. Joe Burrow's playing great football, regardless of whether he's on 1 foot or 2. Mahomes is one of the greats of all time. He's going to get that thing moving. They got weapons, and he's a great play caller. So I see high scoring unless there's weather, but the ball's going to be flying all over that field. So yeah, you're going to see a high flying, high scoring game. I think whoever gets the ball last in that game wins. I'm not sold. Everybody's Bengals. I'm not sold on the Bengals. The game could go either way. It's going to be a crazy turnover, some kind of wacky play that wins this game, I think.
I would imagine out of the 53 or whatever, I would imagine I was probably somewhere around 40 of the Chiefs are back from last year, probably somewhere in that number. How much does last year's game play in the heads of, those returning guys for Kansas City? I mean, is revenge something for media people to talk about, or like, when you're playing with the Jets or Seattle, whoever you're playing with, you lose a game, or in college, you lose a game, the West Virginia one year. There's the revenge, or you're just going out there to win a football game, no matter who's on the other side. I mean, does revenge motivate any more than any other game?
Nothing motivates you more than dying. So I mean, you go out there every game, you can die if you're not careful.
I'm just saying, the Chiefs, they lost that game last year. Like, oh, we got to get them because they got us last year.
No, because every play's the next play, and the weird thing is the teams you play. It doesn't matter who you play. When you go out, every game is so different, and you could be playing the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. That given day, that team could come out on fire, and it doesn't matter who they are or how good they've been all year or how bad they've been all year. That given day, they always say that any given Sunday, and it's so true that you can all of a sudden you get a team that's playing full speed, absolutely on fire as a unit, and they're just clicking, and there's nothing you can do about it. No matter how good you are on offense, you can be the best offense in the league. That's why, as much as I'm saying, the Eagles, the Eagles 49ers game could be a 3-0 game. I mean, nobody knows because you don't know how the guys are going to come out and ultimately play. I mean, the 49ers, they had to travel across the country. The Eagles had the home. And on paper, it should be a nice Eagles win, but there's the tempo of the game. There's when the ball snaps and it's not, there's nothing. It's like it's like a shooter in basketball. Why does Steph come out some games and go 10 for 12 from behind the arc? Other games he's 1 for 14, and he's feeling the same exact. He's not hurt. There's no difference in the way he's playing or the way he's feeling. The ball's just not going in. So when teams, and it's different in football because you have units that when full units are playing together, it's different. You come out and we used to play at the Jets. We were 1-15, but we'd be out playing teams and getting beat all the time. It was the weirdest thing, how you could be better or be playing just as good, and you just don't get the outcome you want. But any one of these teams today could come out flying, and you can't really do much about it except weather the storm and have the experience to get through it. And ultimately, the teams that come out on fire, stay on fire, and create havoc and turnovers and make opportunities and score points, those are the teams that win. But if you come out flat, you can get blown out, and that can happen. And that it doesn't mean the team stinks or someone should be fired or the team sucks. No, it's just the team was for some reason flat, and there's nothing anybody could have done about it.
So, we won't get too much because we have a couple other things I want to get to. Give me a score. You said about 35-32. Who do you like in this game?
Yeah, geez. It's going to be both quarterbacks are good. I mean, you're going to get – I say whoever gets the ball last wins with a field goal. So what's the spread? It's probably the field goal spread.
No, we have it up. We have Kansas City's lane 2 and 48.
Yeah, you take. I'm taking the extra, the half. I'm taking. Who would that be? Cincy plus 2.5, plus 2.5, or is that?
Be two.
Oh no, I want Kansas City minus the 2.
Minus the 2, and by about you're saying you like the over 48. So we'll get into if it becomes a Kansas City Philadelphia Super Bowl, all the Andy Reid underlying stuff. We'll get to that. If and when that happens, we'll be in people's faces for the next couple of weeks talking about this game. I just want to get to a couple other NFL notes. Your good friend and a guy you called your mentor, Frank Reich, this week got the Carolina Panthers job. Again, an organization, even though you didn't play there, you know a lot about. Your brother was a coach there for a couple years, and you know how they run their business there. Frank Reich, good fit in Carolina?
Great fit in Carolina. I thought he would be a better fit in San Diego, but Tepper's trying to do it right. This is the rule. The rule sign is actually good. He just didn't give him enough time. And they didn't
give a quarterback either.
And they didn't get a quarterback. And then the problem that Frank's going to run into is when the players talk amongst themselves. When the free agents talk and everybody wants to get together and play together, nobody wants to go to Carolina. There's nothing there. There's nothing going on in Carolina. So when you after the game, there's no clubs. There's no place to go. So
it's not that bad. I've been down there a bunch of times.
There's not that it can't be done, but it has to be done through the draft. So if I would have traded the Burns. They were offering first round picks for Burns.
Defensive end Brian Burns, linebacker.
Yep. They were offered. So I would have loaded up on draft picks and then tried to do everything. Although he is a young player, I would have tried to do everything through the draft and then get your quarterbacks. If Stroud's around, they're talking about Stroud being around. I still think Stroud's going 1, but they can get a Stroud or a Levis or Caleb Williams possibly this year.
Well, Caleb Williams is next year.
Was he not coming out this year?
Not coming out. The guy, I mean, if you read the Mel Kipers of the world, you see these mock drafts. They have the Carolina Panthers tied to a guy who I'm going to be saying this over the next 3 months as we talk about the NFL draft. The guy who's either going to become a superstar in the NFL or he's going to get a couple coaches and GMs fired by the name of Anthony Richardson, the quarterback out of Florida at 6'4", 240, runs a 4.4, and can throw the ball out of the stadium. He's electric. I mean, for fans who haven't seen him, he's got electric ability, but he was so inconsistent. this year in Florida. So
Reich won't fall into that trap. Tepper would have, but Reich won't. So Reich will.
We'll see. I mean, Reich may love the kid, and he's a quarterback guy. So
Reich's not going to love the kid. If the kid doesn't have any production in college whatsoever,
he produced, but not every week.
8,000 yards passing. You got to win like 40 some games. There's criteria. Parcells had one of the great criterias just for a college quarterback to be NFL ready or to be even considered as NFL quarterback. You have to have played at least 50 games. You have to have had. You go through all these busts that have come out over the last few years. These Ohio State kids. It's lack of playing time. Even Geno Smith. Geno Smith winning all these awards. He's just starting to learn how to play the position, and he's 30, 32 years old or something like that. So, it's the hardest position in all of sports to play, and they're expecting Zach Wilson to come out of BYU at looking like Ken.
10 stars.
Ken the Doll at age 20 and become, Aaron Rodgers. It's an impossibility. It's impossible. So you have to give these young quarterbacks a little bit of time to mature. So that's the problem with these young quarterbacks, especially that they're the way it's all set up. The 5 years. And by the time they quit on the kid, the kid's still too immature to realize if he's any good. So the anti-American anyway. I hate salary caps.
So and real quickly, we talked about before Stetson Bennett showing his mobility last night. Public intoxication in Dallas. I would say would this hurt his draft status, but he's projected to maybe even get drafted. So
no, he's going to get drafted. He's going to get drafted, especially now. He's the Brock Purdy's of the world. Now, he's not going to be a first-round pick, but the kid can absolutely play football. This may actually up his draft status. The kid's got some. He's got a little more moxie than, but there's no. He was knocking on doors and stuff. It might have been more. I want blood. I want a blood test from this. I want to see what else he was on, because you don't just alcohol. This is more than alcohol. This is
here it is. Just reading. Sunny in a historic old Dallas neighborhood. After they responded to a complaint about a man banging on doors in the area, when they arrived, they found Bennett, determined he was intoxicated. You think? I mean,
is that where he lives?
I believe he's from Georgia, but the thing is this: what an example the 46-year-old 25-year-old college quarterback is setting an example for. I mean, he's 25 years old, for crying out loud.
They don't have Uber. They don't have Georgia, who doesn't have Uber for this kid.
Well, he's in Dallas.
Still, I mean, I'm missing something. I'm missing. Was he that whacked? Is it like was he? No, I mean, something on here. Something. It was more than just alcohol.
Glenn, I've been out with you and some of your antics at night way back in the day. You never wanted to knock on doors, though.
Yeah, I was never banging on doors in Texas, I don't think. But no, it's funny that nothing really bad happened, but it's not gonna help his draft status. The kick and someone's ultimately gonna take him. But it's going to be it'll be the Brock Purdy syndrome now. Who wants to Mr. Irrelevant? If Stetson Bennett's there, so take him.
All right, well, there you have it. We did almost 35 minutes here. So Glenn's picks are the Philadelphia Eagles by at least a couple touchdowns over the San Francisco 49ers. He likes the Kansas City Chiefs late, maybe a late field goal, high-scoring affair. I'll take the Eagles 27-13, and I'll take the Chiefs maybe along the lines of Glenn, maybe a 34-27 type of deal in Arrowhead Stadium. And, over the next couple of weeks, we'll break it down. Glenn, I told you go into your Rolodex. Maybe we'll get some your NFL buddies on. We'll make some good NFL picks.
Yeah, just for my bonus, because I always throw a tease in there. Bonus tease. Just tease over both games over. Tease
In
them.
fact, let me hold on. I can let me put that on the I'll put that on the scroll really quick before we
If it's both. There's going to be some scoring because the Eagles secondary has been shaky, and the 49ers could put up some points. I don't think they're gonna, but they could.
There we go. Glenn's tease. Take both overs.
There it is. Tease the over.
There you go. And I like the Milwaukee Bucks, by the way, in basketball. I'll throw it a free NBA play.
How about Embiid taking over last night in the MVP voting? Like just.
Yeah, I mean, great out. He doubled everything Jokic did. Jokic was like 24-9, and Embiid was 47-18.
Forget about the points. Did you see the game that he just completely took over the game? 3-pointers. He hit like 3 or 4 3-pointers in the fourth, and just dagger. It was, and then he went by Jokic like he was standing still and slammed one on his head. Now
you realize no crotch chop. I don't know if you saw the game against Brooklyn. He did the old crotch chop, and the league hit him up for $25,000. So. No crotch chop. But the crotch chop, as you know, it's in wrestling, the D-Generation X thing. And Triple H, who is the head of D-Generation X, asked Embiid if he had enough money to pay for the rest of the year. I think if Triple H kicks in, I mean, heck, he's married to a billionaire. He's got a few dollars. What Triple H should do is send Embiid, a few $100,000. I'm sure Embiid would be doing them every game.
There's no doubt. Embiid's tremendous, and he's right now he's leading the MVP. He's going to win it this year if he keeps it up. He'll win it. I got to give it to him.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Enjoy Championship Sunday, especially the fans watching in Philly and San Francisco, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. Hope you guys have some good meals cooked up, some good appetizers, some food, and
one more thing. They sent the KY jelly. They're greasing the poles in Philadelphia.
They did that already. I was out in the city this morning, and so many people were wearing their Eagles jersey. It was unbelievable.
Greasing the poles in Philly. Look out. And they messed with the Rocky statue. 44 birds. Let's go.
I wonder. We have to find that guy
on the road.
We have to find the guy who ate the horse poop a couple years ago.
Jesus.
Wonder if he'll be out and about today.
If the Eagles win, they should just put cameras everywhere down there and watch the stupidity run wild.
And double lock your doors like we have already done right here in Philadelphia.
There'll be felonies everywhere. All right, man. Peace.